your boy Corey.
It's your boy John.
And welcome back to the Artist You Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists.
Yes, sir.
If you like being inspired, don't miss out on our weekly episodes, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be notified when we drop new episodes.
Let's go.
Guys, we rocking solo again. Like I said, it's going to be the next episode or so. We're doing some solo stuff, and, me and John miss doing this, just me and him, we were able to get down to the nitty gritty, more personal and stuff like that versus, when we have our guests on the podcast, we're stuck in that niche where we're just talking to the guests and stuff like that. So we do have tons of topics we definitely want to bring to light this year and stuff like that, and we will do that on these solo episodes. But before we get into our topic today of becoming a videographer and photographer in 2024 and growing on social media, we got to get into the drink of the day.
All right, the drink of the day is, honestly, I just winged it, I think my bartending skills has elevated, since we started. It's been 3 years in. I'm going to just name this the Mango Paradise because it has mango puree. I put some pineapple juice. It has some coconut rum in there, some coconut cream, and then I topped it off with some apple cider and a little bit of tahini.
Oh, shit.
And that is the Mango
All right,
Paradise.
let's give this shit a try.
Let's go.
Cheers. Not bad.
It tastes like a tiki drink.
Yeah, it does taste like a tiki drink, actually. Mm-hmm. It definitely doesn't taste powerful, though, but it's pretty good.
It's like 2.5 shots in there.
Okay. I mean, that's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's normal.
it's pretty good, y'all.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're going to dive into our topic. And like I said, it's about becoming a videographer or photographer here in 2024 and growing on social media. So
let's go.
We do have some tips on growing because, we've been doing this for a minute. Like, I started getting into the whole Instagram and growing on a platform in 2013. And then, during that time, I was already doing some videography and photography. And I was also going to film school during that time. So, definitely, hopefully, these tips help you guys. So one thing I want to mention is if you're new, watch tons of tutorials. Tutorials is very helpful. The thing was, when I was coming into doing videography and photography, there was no tutorials at that time on YouTube. It was dead. YouTube had no tutorials. Nobody was really helping one another. And, I have reached out to other YouTubers and photographers, and they never once helped.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to create my personal channel, revolve around like tips, tutorials, and stuff like that for photography and videography. But nowadays, YouTube is popping off with just tons of new YouTubers speaking facts on like tips and tutorials when it comes to video and photo. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there that even I watch, and obviously if you need help with something on editing or whatever, YouTube is there for you. YouTube University, and it helps. So that's one thing I would definitely say is if you're just starting out and you want to learn the craft of videography and photography, go to YouTube first.
Not only YouTube, but like TikTok too. I've learned so many like tips and tricks like from TikTok. It's definitely like surface level because they don't have like a long format. So it gets right into. But if I need to learn something quick, I go to TikTok and I learn it real quick and I do it. But if you want like in depth, step by step. And tutorial, go to YouTube.
No, that's true though. I mean, like TikTok, obviously we all know short format content is blowing up now, and with people's attention span, they don't want to watch a full on video.
Right.
But there are those people that love watching those videos still,
right.
And I appreciate those people that do it because, like I said, I was doing it for a minute. I'm about to get back into it, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's hella work. But short form content now with it popping, that's where everybody's going towards. So definitely look on maybe Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. They're all going to be there for sure. The next thing I want to say is take online courses. So, when I started getting into videography around like 2011, that's when I pursued shooting music videos and stuff like that.
Right.
There was, I was looking at film school. Like, there was really no online courses to teach you about videography, photography, or anything like that during that time.
Right.
And if there was, it was really at the bottom. Like, you wouldn't even know about it. So, 2013, that's when I decided to get into film school. I went to the Seattle Arts Institute for 2 years, so 2013 to 2015. And then I came out here to LA for vacation, and I ended up finding out about the Los Angeles Film School. So I pretty much swapped schools and attended the Los Angeles Film School up until I graduated in 2019. Guys, literally I'm in like $100,000 debt,
Right.
just going to film school. And nowadays, with online courses, you could save so much money. You can be spending maybe just a couple thousand
Right.
and learn almost everything that we did in film school.
Yeah.
I can't really say what you learn on these online classes because I've never taken it, but I have seen so much promoting, and I definitely know it has helped some people.
Right.
And it's also saved them a lot of money versus going to like an art school or something like that. So that's one thing I would say is take online courses.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to say?
Just like, because the online courses is cool too, because you could, learn what you want to learn, or learn what you need to learn. If you don't know something or not familiar with something, you could take the online classes. I haven't taken any online classes, but I definitely need to, especially since I didn't graduate film school. Luckily, I had my grandpa Corey sensei me in, so saved a lot of money in that way. I'll get into that a little bit deeper, but yeah, taking online classes is like is the way to go.
For sure. Once you have decided this is something you definitely want to pursue, after watching tutorials, after maybe taking online classes, and you're like, you know what, I want to start doing this kind of shit. Look at getting a camera. You don't need an expensive ass camera. The lens is what you want to look for. Right. And I've tested this theory many times. I've had I had a Canon T2i back when it first came out in 2011, I think, 2010 or something like that. I had the Canon T2i. It was a great camera. I was literally using it for everything, my YouTube videos and some photos and stuff like that. But eventually, I started ranking up. I wanted to get a better camera, So after I got the GH4 and then we got the A6300.
Right.
I found the Canon T2i again for like $200, and I was like, oh shit, like that's fucking cheap. When I bought my T2i, it was like $800-900,
Yeah.
So I wanted to test the theory. So I bought a Canon T2i $200 camera, and I put on the Sigma 18 to 35 on there.
Yeah.
Pictures came out amazing.
Right.
Like on a shitty ass. Well, I'm not gonna say shitty. I mean,
but
old camera.
Yeah,
on an old camera, $200 camera, like. Putting my Sigma 18 to 35 on there, it looked amazing. Even the video quality looked amazing. So I would definitely say you don't need an expensive camera just to start off. You don't need it, like, for sure.
About the glass.
Yeah. I mean, you're just starting off. You don't need to start off with an expensive camera. Once you feel like this is something you are going to be doing, then look at, ranking up and getting a better camera. But for a beginner, I would definitely say look for something cheaper, but look for a more expensive lens if you want that quality.
Right.
And, once you find out, get that camera, guys. The next thing is figuring out your niche. So I think it was easy for me because when I started getting into video and stuff like that, I had already jumped into the music video side of things.
Right.
I had no idea what the hell I was doing. It was literally, just knowing other artists, or like some of my friends in high school, they were trying to rap. So I was like, oh, let me film some music videos for you. So that's what it was, like I was watching Jacob Owens because Jacob Owens was around there, 2011, blowing up. He was working with the Canon T2i, and he's the one that inspired me to get the T2i because his videos were amazing. I was like, damn, you can film that on a fucking T2i? Like, that's dope,
Right.
So that's what inspired me to get the T2i. But then finding my niche, like I said, it was easy. So I would say, I'm pretty sure majority of people kind of already know what they want to do once they know they want to pursue this, as a hobby or a career. So like I said, music videos. For me, as far as photography, I already knew portraits was the thing I wanted to do.
Right.
I was shooting with John when I started getting into photography. I was shooting with CJ. We were shooting a lot. It was literally this John and CJ I was shooting with, and Robin and stuff like that, just practicing my portraits. And I already knew this was something I wanted to do. I did shoot landscape photos. Whenever I would go travel, I would shoot landscape. I've shot, my pets and stuff like that, but not like shoot guys, like photos. Okay. Don't take that in another way. But like I said, it just wasn't. I didn't have the passion of it. It was fun, because obviously taking photos of your pets and stuff, it's cute, it's something that you can keep, but I didn't have the passion of like, oh, can I go up and shoot your dog? I don't know if you've seen, his name is The Doggist on Instagram. So he has
I feel like you showed me before.
I probably had. Yeah. So he has like a couple million on Instagram.
Okay.
And all he does is he goes up to random people on the streets with their dog and takes photos of them.
Oh, really?
That's all he does. And he's been doing this for years. Like I've known him since I think maybe 2019, 2018 or something. Yeah. And that's what he does. You know, he likes just shooting photos of dogs. Like, you know, for me, it was just one of those things where I just loved being able to work with people.
Right.
You can, you know, you can tell people how to adjust themselves. You can play with what you want your background to look like,
the
composition, you know, everything like that. And I feel that was more where I was leaning to. Yeah. Obviously, I've shot car photography as well. Yeah. You know, and it just
videography
videography. You know, it just wasn't those things where I felt like the passion that was like, you know, this is what I want to do. Like, shooting photos of people is what I wanted to do, and I already knew that niche. So I think figuring out your niche might be easy because I think that's what leads you into wanting to shoot photos. Like as soon as you see somebody's photos, like, oh shit, this is dope. Yeah. You immediately like, oh, I'm gonna become a portrait photographer, or wow, these landscape photos are dope. I want to do that. You immediately become a landscape photographer.
Yeah, it just like, you know, shooting everything to figure out like what you actually enjoy shooting. You know, when I first started too, you know, I started with Corey as well. We shot like so many models and just like normal people as well, you know, just trying to get better at our craft. And we actually really enjoy shooting portraits. And I enjoy shooting portraits because I come from like a dance background. I love, and I work in the medical field too. So I just love like people in general, but really like taking my dance experience, I really feel like I have a different perspective when it comes to like angles and body language and how to direct like a model or somebody who just wants, you know, to take pictures, you know. So really using that background and implementing it into the portraits was something that I felt, you know, confident in, and I know what looks good and what doesn't. And, you know, honestly, a lot of my portraits with dancers is probably like one of my best works. I love working with dancers as well because they already know, you know, kind of what to do. But yeah, just finding your niche, I think it'll come naturally, like you said, but also like just practicing with everybody and every type of photography or videography helps as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, you know, obviously the next thing is go shoot, guys. Like you need to go put in that work to build a portfolio. If you don't like, especially when it comes to shooting portraits like of people, that's how you're gonna be able to like make network and connection with people, because you're building your portfolio. People don't want to shoot with you if you don't have no work to show. It's like you go to they go to your Instagram and you'll only have like 1 or 2 photos. You're like, why would I want to shoot with you when I see this portfolio of like 200-300 photos?
But
you
also,
know?
they won't take you seriously.
They won't take you seriously. Yeah, that's for sure. You know, so once you start figuring out what you want to do as far as your niche and all that, go shoot. Ask your friends, like, go shoot landscape, go whatever you can do, just go shoot. It doesn't matter, because you might even find a different niche that you want to do. You know, once you actually go shoot portraits, once you actually go try shooting landscapes, you might actually change your the niche of photography that you want to go with. You know, so there is really no wrong way about this. Practice is practice, guys. Just go out, take your camera, and shoot everything you can, because that's what I was doing. I was literally bringing my camera everywhere I go and just shooting whatever I could and practice my photography. You know, so the next thing I would definitely recommend is learning post-production software. So years ago, you know, Adobe Lightroom was out, Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, but the technological features of it nowadays is crazy. We got AI. I've been playing with the AI features in Photoshop, and you can do some amazing stuff. And we've
generated fill.
Generated fill. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, I've been playing with it a lot at work. You know, just trying to implement different things, and it's so crazy to see how far technology has come now.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, you need to learn the basics first, obviously, before you start using generative fill and you know making your photos. Learn the software, guys. Like, it took me a while to learn Adobe Lightroom and how to edit my photos. I'm still learning Photoshop. Photoshop is still...
It's a beast.
Yeah, it's a beast. You know, there's so much to know on there, and I don't know everything. You know, I know the simple stuff. I would definitely say I'm more knowledgeable in Lightroom and Premiere for sure, but Photoshop, After Effects, those are beasts, and it takes a lot more time to learn, I feel like. So, yes, guys, learn post-production software. It's very important when it comes to editing your photos and video stuff. You have anything to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, learning your software, like, and you got to be patient because, you know, shooting is the fun part. We love shooting, but editing, you know, that's the tedious, you know, it takes so long. Yeah. So, you know, you really have to enjoy the ride and you really have to find a balance because, you know, shooting, you could shoot so many things and then not wanting to edit and then you have, you know, nothing to show. So really finding a balance and be patient with learning software because it takes a long time to master the software. You can't just watch, you know, a couple of tutorials and expect to, you know, come out like a beast. So it's gonna take years of practice of like different problem solving for different types of projects in order for you to master the software. So yeah, just be patient, man.
For sure. You know, kind of leaning back on the last topic we were talking about, the post-production, you know, learning to edit, that's obvious, you know, they correlate together. But one thing you want to do is make sure you find your own style of editing because that's what's going to separate you from other people. I've already found my editing style. John has kind of found his editing style. And I know this has happened many times, but like when people scroll through Instagram, they immediately know it's my edits. You know, they know it's my photography because the way I shoot, the way I edit. And, you know, obviously I know John, you know, we both have different color editings, but we love the colors. That's the thing, you know, we just have a different way of going about it. But that's very important because that's what's going to attract other people to want to work with you. So if you have your own style, that's what people are going to come for. You know, do you know Evan Blum?
Yeah.
So he's been fucking killing it now with the videos and shit. And everybody has been going to him for that video now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like everybody. Like he's been working with No Guidance when they come out here. He just did one with Destiny Rogers, fucking Tori Kelly.
Yeah, with the wide angle.
The wide angle and then the zoom and the face cam and all that. Yeah, like he's been fucking killing it. So everybody's been wanting to work with him now because he found his own style. You know, so that's very important is like, you know, finding your own style in photo or video. And making sure people see it because once they see it, they're gonna be like, oh shit, that's fucking dope. And once you start working with more people and they're like, oh fuck, like I want to work with him now, you know. And so that's what I say is very important, guys, is learning your own style and coming up with something that separates you from the rest. One important thing is obviously you need models to work with or to shoot with, or even artists if you're gonna shoot music videos. So reaching out to models or your friends to help you with your content is very important. Like don't just sit around and let people come to you. You have to actually go out and approach people because there's no way you're gonna get shoots with people if you don't approach them. Even today, I still have people asking to shoot with me, but I'm like, if I really want to shoot, I'm gonna go hit up somebody and be like, hey, are you down to shoot and blah blah blah, you know, go from there because that's how you're gonna build up your clientele as well. So, you know, this is something you want to take seriously and turn into a business. You're building up your clientele. Obviously, it's hard to charge somebody when they're your friends and you've been shooting with them for free for a long time.
Or if you're just a beginner.
Or just when you're a beginner and stuff. But how I actually went about getting guys, I've shot with hundreds of people over my whole years of shooting, and John knows this. He's been with me to almost all my shoots, especially back home in Seattle. We were shooting with so many, you know, I've had, I don't know, like shot with 200 people, but so many people. And you know, the reason why? Social media, guys. So what you got to do is put yourself out there. If you have a lot of followers on Instagram, perfect. Put out on a story like, hey, I'm doing free shoots, you know, for a whole month. People will hit you up. Once they see free, they're immediately going to come at you because that's what happened to me. Once I started putting out free shoots, I don't know how many people I had within that first day of posting it. I think I had like 50 people hit me up like, oh, I'd love to shoot you with you, blah, blah, blah. And I felt good. I was like, oh shit, people love my work. They want to work with me and stuff, you know? So that's one thing that's important. And especially when you're just beginning, it has to be free. Don't charge out of the jump because there are people I know that literally are still learning photography and charge immediately. I know. You can't do that, guys. Like
sometimes even charging more than us.
Yeah, charging more than us. Like I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people like, you know, I'm not gonna hate on anybody's photography, but we know our work and what it's worth, and I've seen others. But it's like when you see a beginner's work and you're like, damn, my stuff is a little bit better than that, but yet you're charging more than I am, and you're getting it. It's like, damn, what the fuck? What the fuck am I doing wrong? You know. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a beginner, don't charge. Like, do free shoots for at least a year. Build up your clientele.
Build up your portfolio.
That's the way to go, and that's a great way to market your name and your brand and stuff like that. So use the power of social media, whether it's TikTok, put out a video, say you're doing free shoots, Instagram stories, reels, whatever. Like, just use social media as a platform to promote your free shoots, and people will come. I'm telling you, they will fucking come. It's crazy.
Especially free.
Free. Yes.
Crazy.
And then obviously my last tip would be put your work out there for the world to see, guys. It's very important. Whether like build your website, put your portfolio on there. But nowadays, Instagram is your portfolio. Everybody's looking at Instagram. More people are on social media nowadays than ever. But for us professionals, it's still great to have a website because
especially for corporate.
Commercial. Commercial work. Like when you're trying to work with a professional business or whatever company, they want to see your portfolio on a website, not Instagram or something like that. And that's kind of what I did. For me, I am working for a great e-commerce company as a videographer photographer now, and they looked through my website. They did not use Instagram. I know they did say they went through my Instagram and stuff, but everything was on the website. And obviously, when you have a resume, you want to put your website, not your Instagram. That's very important, guys. Make sure you put your website and not your Instagram. But yeah, like I said, put your work out there, whether it's TikTok, YouTube Shorts, YouTube in general, and Instagram. Put the work out there because that's going to show who you are as a photographer or videographer, and it's the only way to grow, guys.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. Only way to grow. So I know John has some tips and stuff that he'd like to talk about.
Yeah, so like if you're a videographer, photographer beginning in 2024, man, you don't, as Corey said, you don't need the highest end gear. You don't need the most expensive camera. Honestly, a lot of us have like $1,000 phones. So I would say start, with your phone, with what you already have. There's a bunch of attachments, a bunch of lens that you could buy, a bunch of, even have gimbals, handheld things. You could do a lot with your phone just from the start. So, if you don't have the money or you don't have the budget or you don't even know that you're gonna take it seriously, you could start with the phone, because as you progress, that's where you learn like composition. That's when you learn editing. So you could learn all these other things without even having like a official like filming or photography camera. So yeah, starting with your phone is definitely at the top of my list. Corey used to actually do some challenges where like he would post his photos of his actual DSLR and then photos from his phone. So, and a lot of people was thinking that the phone photos was the DSLR
that's
photos,
crazy. I remember that. It's a crazy video. Well, we could definitely link that here in the description box, but I remember, I forget if you were there, but literally, I used my A6300, and then I used, at the time, it was the OnePlus 6. OnePlus 6. Yeah. And during that time, that camera on the OnePlus was like the best. Yeah. Like they were saying it was the best camera. So I was like, you know what? I got this fucking phone. Let's go out and do a test run. So I took the same exact photo, and I also used my Prism, the Prism. That was fucking hard on a phone. But I bet. But the photos came out amazing. And I did a video on YouTube where it literally compared like which one was the mirrorless and then the phone camera. But I also did it on Instagram and did a poll, and people were saying that the OnePlus was actually the mirrorless. So that shit was fucking crazy, and that's easy.
You might have to bring that back.
Yeah, I might have to bring it back. I might have to do that again. Like,
because that's some viral content.
Yeah, I know. I might definitely have to do that again. That'll probably go on my channel very soon this year, guys. So, and maybe we'll have John help me as well. So that'll be dope.
Now I got an iPhone as well, so we
fuck could iPhones.
But we could also do like a comparison of the Samsung and then the iPhones and then the DSLR.
That would actually be a good one. Like just seeing. Hey guys, John was an Android gamer, but
I just switched this year.
He went to the devil now, and he's an iPhone user. So I'm
a techie.
So he, like I said, it would be a cool idea to actually you do the iPhone, do an Android, and then do a mirrorless and see what people actually like what they think.
What they think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
that'll be dope.
Yeah, we might have to do that.
That'll be a dope YouTube video. But yeah, going back into growing as a photographer, videographer in 2024, you know, just don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the clout. If you're doing it for the likes and the shares and the clout, you know, you're doing it for the wrong reason. And honestly, like, it's not sustainable, you know, because if you're doing it for the money is not going to come in the beginning, and you're going to be charging, you know, X amount, and, you know, you're not going to have that many clients and things like that. But as with any art, you know, you got to do it for the love, and that's where the real magic happens. Yeah. And, you know, when we started, you know, we didn't make any money. I mean, even this podcast, we're still not making any money.
We're not making money, guys.
But we do it because we love it, and we know the money will come later. And so it doesn't feel like work, but I know that it will turn into like a working salaries, working pay. So yeah, just don't do it for any other reason besides, you know, loving it for the art itself. I want to go into like going on like shoots, you know, how you present yourself. So I was really introverted, you know, Corey knew this, especially back home in Seattle. It was very hard for me to come out of my shell, you know, as a photographer and as a gamer, and, you know, just an introverted person who stays at home a lot. It was very hard for me to break out of my shell when we go on these shoots and, you know, talk to the model and everything. You know, I was definitely that person who was just shooting, not directing the model, and I was just like, okay, cool, we're done. But, you know, Corey was like, nah, bro, you need to talk more, you know, you need to be less awkward, you know, because it is like a connection. It is, and the more comfortable you could make the model or the person you're shooting, the more fire you get, because then you start building off of each other's ideas. You build off of each other's energy, and then you know like what they like, and you know what you like, and you just show them the photos, and you guys are on like a good foundation. That shit like starts rolling, and the shoot not only goes faster, but it also makes it twice as fun, and also twice as more like fire at the end of the day. The content that you get out of the end of the day, you could feel the chemistry, you know, with the photos or with the video that you're finished with. So, you know, don't be awkward, don't be shy, you know. Of course, like when you're first starting, you know, you're gonna kind of be a little bit antsy, but like over time you'll gain that confidence, and, you know, you'll be there. What do you think about like awkwardness? And,
I mean, you know, one thing for sure is John is not the most introverted person. The most introverted person I ever met was the mute girl. Okay, we've talked about this before.
The mute girl.
The mute girl, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it was like she wasn't. She was introverted, but it wasn't to the point where like she couldn't talk. She can talk, guys. Like she can talk, because before we got in, she introduced us to her family and all that in downtown Seattle. Right. And then, you know, we got to shooting. Now, we'll talk a little bit about this story, you know, because this is where it gets awkward. Yeah. But, you know, we've talked about it many times. Like, she was literally a mute. Like, I would ask her how her day was, or, you know, like ask her what she's doing, and all she would literally, you know, kind of imitating John. She's like, literally, that's all she did. Like, she would not really say or communicate with us. Wouldn't respond while we're shooting, and this is where it got awkward for me. So, you know, my typical photo shoots last like 45 minutes at least, right? This photo shoot lasts me 5 minutes, guys. Like, literally, it was quick, because I already felt the awkwardness, and I felt like I wanted to get out of there. Like, I already tried communicating with her, you know, as the extrovert I am, try to talk to her, try to get things out of her. She was just not responding. She was a total mute, and, you know, it was just fucking weird for me. And John has the same experience.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, we, you know, back in the day, we used to both practice together, and you know, both go on to the same shoot. And with this mute girl, you know, we take turns, right? He did his thing first, and then when he came back to me, he was just like, bro, this is fucking weird. And I was just like, what do you mean? He's like, she's not saying anything. I was like, what? Okay. You know, I go in it with the open mind, and it's my turn, and I'm just like talking to her, and I'm just like, so how was your day? And then she was just like, and I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, take a couple photos. I was like, so what do you do for work? like, I was like, what the heck? I never, at least say yes or okay, exactly. But she literally didn't say anything. Yes. And it was so awkward, and she looked so different from what her Instagram was. You know, when she came onto the shoot, she's definitely like a tomboy, but honestly, I didn't even think she was even like trying. She didn't even
that's facts.
Come in an outfit or anything. She just like showed up with her family, and that was it.
No, and that pretty much what it was. And I felt like it was one of those things where, you know, I was promoting the whole free shoots thing, and you know, she just wanted cool photos. That's all it was. Like, she didn't repost any of our photos or anything like that.
I don't even think we sent it to her.
I did. I sent it to her. She never reposted it. I posted it and tagged her, but she never reshared it or anything like that. So, you know, during that time, I was growing my following too, and I forget where I was at. Maybe I was at like 12, 13,000 or whatever and stuff like that, followers on Instagram. And she saw that, and then she was like, oh, maybe this is a great way to get followers or whatever, you know. But yeah, she, like I said, you know, you just never know who you're going to come in contact with. That's why during that time, you learn a lot. Like, we were at that phase where we're just trying to shoot with everybody and get as much content, practice, you know. But nowadays, as a professional, we know who we want to shoot with, who we want to work with. It's not anything where it's just a random person that might look good or whatever and you want to shoot photos. Literally, everybody that we work with is in the industry somehow. They're either a model, they're either an actress, singer. That's who we work with now. It's like, it's not anybody random or anything. You know, the majority of everybody is working in the industry, which is dope because, you know, we came from a city where nobody was in the industry. People just wanted cool photos. And that's fine because we wanted just content. But now, you know, coming to LA, it's a game changer for us. We've been working with everybody in the industry somehow, some way. And, you know, this is what happens when you move to a big-ass city like this. An amazing city, but also a shitty city at the same time. But, you know, we love it out here because it definitely has helped us grow as a person, as our brand and our content. You know, so...
And our skill level, too.
And our skill level.
Because, like, it really pushes you to the edge. And working with these, like, industry people, it really does give you a different perspective, different workflow, and also, like, you just get on fire because they already know what they're doing.
Facts, especially, you know, like our friend C. Like, she, you know, she's a great model. Amazing. She's a good friend to us as well. And, you know, she's in the industry as well, and she just kills it. Like, I can literally go in there, and she knows how we shoot. Boom, boom. 20, 30 minutes, we're done. It's like, that's how it is. And that's one thing you definitely want to build is a connection with your model and, you know, make them your friend because that's how it evolved. Like, I met C back in 2020 or 2021 somewhere. And, you know, our first shoot was crazy. Like, you know, like, just meeting her, she was dope, but she wasn't even in the industry just yet. You know, she was just shooting photos and stuff like that. And now, fast forward today, guys, she's on fucking TV. She's on movies.
She's with 2 agencies.
2 agencies. It's fucking crazy, you know. So big shout out to our friend C. You know, she's definitely killing it. Find a person that you can definitely connect with and shoot photos with all the time that would be down with you. And there's going to be no awkwardness, guys. There's no awkwardness.
Especially if they're your friend.
Especially if you're a friend. You know, like I said, that's why it's important finding somebody that you connect with because once you do, there's never awkwardness. It's like you're shooting with your friend. You know, so I think that's another important thing, guys, to avoid awkwardness is like find people that you can build a connection and relationship with and just go out and shoot. I honestly, as a photographer, you know, I was at the point where I wanted to meet multiple people. And shoot with them. But now it's to the point where I'd prefer just shooting with our friends that we've already connected with. Our circle, you know, and be like, hey, let's shoot some photos today. They're down, you know, immediately. So do that, guys, and I think you're gonna be successful in the long run. And I'm not saying like when people reach out to you and want to shoot photos, go do it. Like, but I would say don't reach out to people and try to shoot. Like once you have your group already, you want it, just keep with that group. I would definitely say.
Unless it's a client or something like that.
For sure.
But
get that bag.
But so going back into 2024 about being a photographer and videographer, you know, I think it's important to, you know, notify that like short form content is like taking over right now. And there's, you know, short form and there's long form. And, you know, honestly, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you know, we do this a lot is like shooting a long form video and then chopping it up into short form content. And, you know, a lot of people now with, you know, starting to be a videographer, photographer, you know, they're just focusing on short form only. But you're honestly like losing so much out of long form because I do feel like long form content is going to come back. But during COVID, you know, short form, everybody was in the house. Everyone's attention spans got shorter, so short form content is popping right now. But if you could kill two birds with one stone, you know, that's what we've been doing. You'll definitely excel way faster, you know. So don't only just focus on short form content because it's popping right now. Also, like dip your toes into long form as well.
Facts.
But yeah, it's getting crazy out here for sure for short form content. And then my next tip, you know, obviously, you know, I didn't go to film school or anything like that. I had my grandpa sensei me in.
You know how we do.
Learned everything, you know, that he learned from film school, and still learning, you know, till this day, you know, on YouTube and things like that. You know, there's so much to gravitate towards. And you know, if you could find a friend who's like a photographer, videographer, and to really learn from them, and you know, everybody nowadays, like, you know, there is a lot of like gatekeepers back in the day, but I feel like people now are more open, and you know, they're able to wing you along. You know, if you want a job shadow, you know, a director or anything like that on a shoot for free, especially, yeah, they'll enjoy the extra help for free. And that free knowledge, especially hands-on knowledge, because a lot of times, like Corey was saying, that when he went to film school, the things he learned on film school wasn't even like really relevant, besides like, you know, basic terminology like C-stands and things like that. But yeah, so having hands-on experience and also building the connections to put you into these industry projects, you know, is gonna excel you further for sure.
Yeah, that's facts. I definitely want to say, you know, like for those that are considering like videography or filmmaking in general, I'm not gonna lie, knowing the terminology is very important.
No,
because
it is, yeah.
Let's say you go on a film set and you're trying to get a job there. If they're asking you for like a C-47 and you don't know what a fucking C-47 is, and you grab like literally like a plane or something like that, because I think a C-47 is like a plane or I'm not sure, but a C-47 is literally a clip.
Yeah, clip. Yeah.
You know, that holds whatever you need. Like you're trying to hold like a backdrop or whatever. Like that's what it is. And guarantee you, if you don't know that terminology and you're on a film set, you're fired the next day because you just don't know what you're doing. This is the kind of shit I learned in film school. You learn the terminology, and even though it doesn't sound like it's important when you go on to a film set. It's very important that you it
shows like your professionalism.
Yeah, exactly. It shows your professionalism, but it shows that you've learned a little bit about filmmaking. You know, and it's very important. So I'm not saying that, you know, like you shouldn't know these terms, because if you are pursuing the film industry, it's definitely important to know those terms, you know. So those are for people that are considering the film industry. Now we want to talk about social media. And, you know, social media, damn, like literally, you know,
it's changed so much.
You know, like the algorithms have changed on Instagram. You know, it was so easy to grow on Instagram years and years ago. Chronological order. They do have chronological, but a lot of people still don't know about it. Exactly. You have to tap the screen and go to your following, and there you go. But other than that, it used to be to the point once you open, it's chronological. And that's the thing that sucks. And algorithm has just changed in general. But we want to talk about general growth on social media and what you should do. Obviously, once you figured out, you know, your niche that you want to start posting, and you don't have to be a videographer or photographer, you can be literally just an influencer, but figure out your niche. You know, it's very important, because if you're everywhere, which my account now has kind of gone like everywhere, you know, I'm posting our Artistry Drop podcast, I'm posting now my gaming content, and then I'm posting some photos and, you know, just general stuff. And I feel like for me, that's okay now, because like I want to show who I am. Like I that's why I created my separate page for just my visuals. You know, I wanted to separate my two stuff. So at least with my main profile, I can post whatever I want. And then my visuals is just visuals. You know, so it's very important when you first start out, though, is like figuring out your niche, because before, all I posted was photography. Literally, that's what I started off with, was just posting photography, and that's how I built my following. And, you know, obviously I noticed some followers are dropping off because maybe I'm posting like a variety of content now, because it's not what they followed me for. You know, they followed me for photography, which is fine. I don't care anymore about the followers.
Right.
It got into the point where I was like, you know, I'm just doing this for fun now. Like I want to get my content out. It's dope meeting new people and stuff like that. But it's gotten to the point where I'm not even trying to grow my following anymore. If it grows by itself, it grows.
Right.
You know, but to get to the point where I was definitely at, like, figure out your niche, post your content, your portraits, music videos, whatever you want, and stick with that niche for a while, because that's how you're going to build your following.
Facts.
That's why people are going to follow you. Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on?
Oh, no, just like, you touch on everything, like, finding your niche and really capitalizing on, like, what you're all about. Because I think finding your niche is also representation of, like, who you are and your brand that you're trying to build around.
Facts.
So, you know, and like he said, like, you don't have to be a photographer, videographer. You know, if you're an influencer, you know, you want to be a dancer, you're doing a bunch of dance trends, you know, keep with that niche. And then the algorithm, especially on TikTok, is going to push you out to the people who watch dances, the people who watch tips and tricks for videography, you know. And so once you find who you are as a brand and find your niche, you know, that's how you're going to grow on social media for sure as well.
For sure, for sure. So the next thing I would definitely say, I still think it's important, and it may not be as relevant anymore because the algorithm has changed, is hashtags. Hashtagging your photos or whatever content you have is very important, because people still look up hashtags. People will type in their search bar like portraits, and there you are, the whole list of portraits. And you never know what if you hashtag your photography with like portraits or neon portraits or whatever, yours is going to show up there for sure. Right. But if you don't hashtag, you're not going to show up there. Yeah. So to me, it's still very important to use hashtags. And like I said, it's maybe not as relevant as it used to be, just because people tend to go viral even without hashtags. Exactly. But like I said, like, if you don't use them, you have that chance of not getting any kind of reach at all.
Right.
So
it does like reach out to newer people that don't follow you.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I said, guys, you consider using hashtags, even though it's not relevant, but it'll definitely help you broaden out to a new followers. And who knows, they might hit you with a follow because they like your work and whatever.
You get a lot of spam though.
You do, that's the thing.
Spam accounts.
Yeah, spam accounts. You get all these like sex accounts following you and shit. Like I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, and they even message you nowadays.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
I'm like, what the fuck is this, guys? So algorithm is crazy now. But my next thing I want to talk about is video content. So obviously, John talked about short form versus long form content, and it's popping. Like, guys, like video content nowadays is popping versus photography and stuff. So if you can take your photography and implement it in a way of a video, like maybe showing it behind the scenes or whatever, and then show your photos at the end of it.
I think that's the most popular.
Yeah, it's the most popular nowadays. Do it, guys, because I feel like photos aren't getting as much love as they used to nowadays. It's morely videos, because Instagram is pushing video content now. Because
they're trying to compete with TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what they're trying to do. So what I've even tested the whole theory of making a video a reel. And it's worked. I mean, it works, but it's still not the greatest way to go about it. So people want to see actual visuals, like show behind the scenes of you shooting the content, and go from there. But I would say try to produce more video content if you can. And everybody is doing it in some way. It's either dance, it's either photography, videography. Just start doing more video content in some kind of way, guys, because that's what's going to push you out to the algorithm. That's what the algorithm wants, is to see more engagement with videos versus photos. So just do what you need to with that. And then my last thing is consistency. Right. You have to post almost every day, guys, because if you miss a post like maybe a couple days or 3 days out of the week, you're gonna fall really quick. Right. Like the algorithm's not gonna push you because they're like, oh, this guy's not posting, why would we want to push him into the algorithm? Exactly. Boom, there you go. Like you start losing your following, you're not getting engagement at all. But even in general, I feel like you talked about this last night. Accounts nowadays, even mine, doesn't get as much engagement anymore. Right. I just feel that way.
You get like shadow banned.
You get shadow banned for some reason. And it sucks, it sucks. And that's why, since you started a new account is a good idea, because now you're getting more engagement.
Exactly, yeah.
And I feel like I've thought about doing that, but I'm like, I work too hard for this fucking account. Like,
but about your visuals,
my visual one is popping off
because it's new.
It's new, yeah. So I've been getting way more likes on there than I have on my personal page, which is crazy, you know. So it is dope, and you know, I'm glad I created that page strictly for my visuals. But I slowly am gonna convert to add, you know, some of our artistry job stuff that, you know, relates to photography and videography, because you know, that's what the page is about. So I definitely want to help others out, you know, on that page. And because there's probably going to be more reach on that page now versus like my current page. So that's why I want to start pushing reels out more on that page as well. But yeah, guys, consistency is very important. You don't want to fall at the bottom of the algorithm and don't get promoted anymore. If you guys do notice your shadow ban, you're not getting engagement, create a new page. I wouldn't say delete your page. Don't jump to that. Create a new page and test it out and see how it works, and, you know, go from there. Anything?
I think like another thing too is we didn't write it down, but like don't be afraid to change your approach.
Facts.
You know, because the things that we learned, you know, throughout all these years, you know, social media is always changing. You know, they always demanding a different thing. You know, the algorithm changes, so you got to change with the algorithm. And if you're a photographer who only wants to post photos, you're not going to make it in this social media world. You have to start doing videos, even if it's just a little bit behind the scenes. Even if you're camera shy, you got to start getting confident, because it's hard to stand out now. It's hard to stand out. So you have to embrace like who you are, what you are, and also accept that every year is going to demand a different side of you. And if you're not growing with the social media and comfortable with changing and, you know, not only like following trends, but like just changing your approach to how you brand yourself, you know, you're going to fall off on the social media algorithm. So you got to be accepting to change as well in order to grow. But yeah, going into, you know, my next topic, you know, finding inspiration like through like trends, but also like be original, because a lot of times when we have artists on here, we talked about this many times, is like social media, especially with these trends, especially with dance trends as well, is a lot of like you know, copy and paste. You know, there's no originality. And yes, it is hard to stand out because it's so saturated, but your originality of how you approach the trends can make you stand out, because that is you, you know. And so just be original. Yeah, trends are there, you know, they're gonna get you clout, and we do have to follow trends because that is the algorithm, but how you approach the trend is what's gonna make you stand out and become original. Do you have anything to say about following trends?
No, I definitely agree with trends. I feel like that's one thing I haven't necessarily done, because majority of these trends are dance trends. Like everybody is a fucking dancer nowadays. Like,
they're not even good at dancing.
No,
they're
not even
good.
Yeah, they're just good at trends, and that's what people are smart about. Is like, once a trend come out, do the fucking trend. Just like, you know, we talked about the WAP trend. That is fucking going massive right now. Everybody's fucking doing it. All the celebrities are doing it. And it's crazy. And I'm like, fuck. Like, these are the majority of the trends that go viral. It's just dance trends. I don't feel like there's a photography or videography trend. And if there is, a minimal amount of people are doing it. You know, and that's what sucks. It sucks that majority of these trends are dance, and if you're not a dancer, you can't really do the trend. You know, and that's just how it is. But even if they suck at dancing, they still follow the trend no matter what, because they know they're gonna get some views on it or whatever, you know. So I mean, I would definitely say, hey, if you want that following, just do the fucking trend in general. Like, even if you suck or whatever, just do it. And if you're making a fool of yourself, just do it. Like, it's a trend. Pop off. Yeah, you'll pop off. You know, and at least some people might think it's funny too. Like, if you're like, for me, I'm the person that doesn't take things to offense. So I wouldn't mind doing it just to make a fool of myself and like get it following. But some people, obviously, if they see the backlash on social, oh, you fucking suck, they're gonna get butthurt and stuff like that. And trust me, guys, I've gone through that shit. I posted a viral video, and we got so much racial hate and all this stuff. So I mean, you know, that's nothing new for me, you know, getting hate on social media. So that's what I have to say on trends.
Okay, so moving forward, you know, he talked about being consistent, consistently posting every single day. TikTok now wants you to post like at least twice or more, a day. But, we all have our busy lives. And, one thing that me and Corey has started to do is like scheduling posts.
Yes.
Because we, have our own lives. We have so many other things that we're managing, multiple social media accounts, especially for the podcast and our personals, that life gets in the way. But we want to be consistent. So if you have to, start scheduling posts at specific times, and also do your research on what is the best times to post, because there is specific times that pop off more than others. And do you have anything to say about
scheduling? Because I told you last year before we went into the year, I was going to start scheduling posts on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, so that's what I've been doing. I've been using Instagram Business, I think, or Facebook Business, which is linked to the Artistry Drop Instagram. So, I'll take every weekend, upload like almost 2 weeks worth, post once a day, because Instagram once a day is good enough, guys. Like, TikTok, they require at least a couple times a day, but you really don't want to post that much times a day. Even YouTube Shorts, a couple times a day is good. But Instagram, it's one of those things where if you post multiple times a day, they're going to notice it as spam. And you don't want to do that. So I've been utilizing that. It shows your analytics on which days are the good days to post and what time. Or no, not the best days to post, but the time of day. And so majority of the time I've noticed around 5 to 6 is best for us. So that's what I've been scheduling our posts at, is about 5 o'clock. And it's slowly growing, because I wasn't consistent with posting, last year. A lot of shit was happening last year, but now I told John, like, this year, I was like, I need a fucking schedule, because I'm trying to make our Instagram blow up. Like, I want our Instagram to blow up, and the only way to do that is being consistent and posting every single day. So, that's what I've been doing on Instagram. John's been posting every day on YouTube, and I just saw, are you scheduling the post on TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, how'd you schedule it?
I mean, you could schedule it
in app, right?
Yeah. Okay. But the only bad thing, I don't know, TikTok, if you're watching this, you need to fix your scheduling, because you can't edit like a title on the actual cover.
I fucking hate the only time you can do that is on a photo, because I've been posting just photos because TikTok is now promoting photo posts. So you can actually edit the full post on photos, but you can't do it on video, which fucking sucks.
I don't know why. So that's why I was against scheduling at first, because I do want a title as the cover page, so when people go on our page, they can see what it's about. But honestly, we've been so busy. I'd rather sacrifice the title for consistency. Facts. Because that's what's gonna grow the channel. So we've been every weekend we schedule for like a week or two out, and just scheduling posts, and that's honestly what's been growing the YouTube channel as well.
It is big time.
Because I've been scheduling twice a day. What works best for us right now is 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So twice a day, pushing it out. And I think within the past year, we've gained like probably 200 subscribers.
Yeah, we did. Just from shorts.
Shorts, So that's what's really growing the channel. And, YouTube Shorts is definitely brand new this past year. So they're wanting to push that out to the algorithm. So we're, hopping on that train, but also being authentic about it. So that's something that you should definitely consider if you're busy with life. Schedule your posts. Going on to my next topic is like branding. Be the person who you want to be. If you have somebody who you look up to, a content creator, a videographer, an influencer that you look up to, and you want to you see yourself being that person, you have to brand yourself and build the portfolio to support the person you want to be. Because honestly, like, the sky is a limit. Like, you could be anybody, and you could start from ground zero. If you need to make a new channel because you're starting a new adventure, do it. And just brand yourself, find your niche, and you could do anything, honestly.
You can. You can definitely. Like I said, branding is very important. Like, don't copy other people. Well, I can't really say don't copy other people, because that's what trends. Like, literally, one person will do a viral dance, other people will copy. And that's good for you, because at least you're creating something. But the only thing that sucks is it doesn't go back to who originally started it. Like, the WAP dance, I don't know who fucking did it. Like, I was trying to look back to see, was it J Dash, the songwriter of the song? was it him that created it or who? Because this song is old.
Yeah.
This is actually an old song. I believe it came out in 2011 or 2010, and somebody randomly brought it up and did a dance. Now, who does that go back to? I tried to look. I could not really find anybody.
Yeah, once it gets too poppin', you know, dancers know, and I know a lot of dancers do this, especially like TikTok dancers too. They always put dance credit. It'll be like DC, colon, you know, at the mention, so they could give the proper person the credits. But yeah, once it starts blowing up and normal people, you know, who are not influencers or not in part of social media start doing it, you know, you don't know.
You just don't know. And that's why it sucks. So, I mean, it's cool and it feels good. You're like, oh shit, I fucking started this trend. But and then when you're not getting credited, you don't get that following.
Exactly.
Because nobody's going to know who the fuck you are unless you were the people that had just jumped on the train and actually do credit you.
Yeah.
So
that's facts. So going on to my last topic about how to grow on social media, you know, is making engaging and relatable posts. You know, honestly, I think engagement, you know, it outweighs the following at this point. You know, I was locked out of my original Instagram account. I had like 4K followers, and then now I just restarted my Instagram by not by choice, but just because I couldn't get back into my original. But then once I started a new Instagram, I noticed my engagement, even though I had a low following, my engagement was like crazy. So I decided to you know, delete my old account and just move forward with my new account. And you know, speaking about engaging and relatable posts, you know, I create the shorts for the podcast, and you know, he goes through and he marks every topic or every segment that he thinks could be popping, and then I go in and I finalize which ones I feel can really pop. And the ones that I pick is like things that people can relate to, because before it was like really the questions about the artist, and I throw some of it in there, talking about their music and things like that, but really what pops off like on the shorts and on TikTok is like things that people can relate to. So you know, if they're talking about you know, a trending topic, or if they're talking about something that I feel that other people can relate to, whether it's advice, whether it's you know, seeing naked people, you know, in LA, you know. So if people can relate to it, you know, that's what's going to be popping, because that's what people are going to like, comment, share, you know, because it's hot, you know, and it's entertaining, because you want to do entertaining posts, but also you want to keep original and keep with who you are. So don't go too offlandish with just the clout, but yeah, just make relatable and engaging posts. Yeah.
And I mean, I would say, you know, if you have stuff that is funny, like put that out there, because I feel like, of course, you know, inspirational, serious type of things do go viral as well. That is relatable. But funny stuff is funny too. I feel like, you know, so you're gonna get some laughs and people loving that content, and that's why, you know, I feel like for us, we're able to joke around more here than, you know, having our guests. Like, we don't know, sometimes we don't know how much our guests can joke around or their sense of humor and stuff like that. But me and John have been like this for years. So we know our sense of humor, we know our boundaries and stuff like that. But at least when it's just me and him here on the podcast, we're able to be ourselves. So I would say, yes, create that relatable content for people, but also show yourself, like show who you truly are. Because if you're a facade, like, and people meet you in person and you're fucking different, that's how, you know, you're like, wow, Instagram is fucked up. Like, you know, I'm not saying Instagram or social media is fucked up. I'm just saying, like, that's how you know a person is facade. Like, they have this thing on social media where they're like, oh, they look so cool. And I've heard many stories of, you know, other influencers where the, you know, like they're a fan, when they meet them in person, they're either an asshole or whatever. It's a facade, guys. Like, this is social media. How you meet me and John in person, this is how we fucking are. Like, literally, come up to us on the street, we're gonna be just like this. We're no different or anything like that. But that's the one thing that I think sucks about social media, is people are able to create a facade and make them look good, but once you actually meet them in person, it's a totally different, you know, totally different thing.
So just be yourself, guys.
Just be yourself, guys. And I think that's what's more important, especially growing on social media, is just be yourself. Like, just do what you got to do, create that content, don't be a facade, and let's grow here in 2024, y'all.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, well, we are coming to the end of the podcast, guys. We hope you enjoyed this one, and hopefully it helps out. Like, if it does help you, please drop a comment in the comment box below. Would love to know if these tips do help you guys, because if it does, we will continue to do stuff like this based off our experience and stuff like that.
Hell
But
yeah.
anyways, we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's Artistry Drop. Guys, please subscribe. Like I said, we've mentioned this many times. We're at 500 subscribers and been doing this for 3 years. So
yeah.
we would love to see some love shown here on the Artistry Drop. If you're not following us here on Instagram, you can find us at the Artistry Drop. And if you prefer just listening, you can stream all our episodes on all major podcast platforms. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.